Hello everybody, this is Nick speaking and welcome back to another episode of Planet Coaster here in Desert Valley. In the last episode we were working here on the little dockside thing. Well, kind of. It was more, I worked on it a few weeks ago and the video didn't get released because reasons, mostly me being sick, and basically the reason why there haven't been much videos in the past few weeks here is because I've actually been working quite a bit of overtime. So finally this weekend I got back to the point where I am no longer doing such a thing, so hopefully that is good news for me being able to actually start making videos again with a little more regularity, and also a few other things on the channel right now going on. We do have a few games for the Minecraft Ultra Hardcore, one with Polycraft and then the server clash. Both of those are going on right now, so if you want to, definitely go out and check both of those. But anyways, let's go talk here about what you're seeing on the screen right now, which I'll admit is kind of not really the most exciting thing. Mainly what I'm planning on doing in this episode is working kind of on this side over here past the roller coaster. Well, kind of, it's obviously right there behind this right now, but mainly working on this area and the area transitioning right over here into the plaza, which was kind of a cool little idea I had of doing a Ferris wheel here and making that kind of fit into the area as I want it to do. So yeah, it was just kind of one of those things where we get kind of some cool stuff going on, and it was just like, yes, this works out perfectly. That's what I want to do. And yeah, so it's basically this entire area over here that's getting worked on today. So anyways, it's gonna, we go back and working on the queue here a little bit, so make the actual area start going. And now, well, I might be putting railing on this. We'll just say that railing's not going to last for very long. I end up actually doing custom railings on basically all of this, so it ends up looking really nice, and I definitely think what I got was really good. So anyways, taking this over here and putting it inside that so we can, you know, kind of connect that side up. So that was the idea behind doing those railings, is let's connect things up. So yeah, anyways, it's, I mean, lots of stuff like, you know, placing rocks and all those sorts of things. So it'll be kind of a, well, let's just say I think I'm gonna let it roll here for a little bit, and when we move to something else, I'll be back. Okay, so, and as you guys can tell now we're working on the little sort of facade thing that's here next to what I've currently been building now. This area is going to go through a little bit of a change, mainly because I'm actually trying to make this into a new sort of area, so it only just made sense that it's like, yeah, let's kind of do a little bit of, you know, decoration stuff here, and we're gonna make this look like it's kind of a newish area here. So yeah, so basically we're transitioning over to the new theme in this area, so that's why we're kind of using a different sort of brick here than what was originally on the wall, because I'm just like, yeah, probably one of those things I should be doing just so we can make things start looking cohesive. And this was one of those areas where it's just like, okay, so we need to keep the wall here. So the wall, okay, I end up placing back the wall in that I just deleted, and then I end up taking all the wall sections and, yeah, moving them outwards. So it's just like, yeah, I know that these kind of concrete things are here, but basically we want a smooth transition between these two areas, and also one that can, you know, do awesome things like that. So yeah, so basically this is how you make it look like it belongs, and using these roof pieces we get that little extra detail into this. And then, yeah, I end up pushing that back a little bit and then put some extra rocks here just to make it look like, okay, it ended here. And that way that fills in pretty easily. So yeah, basically now we have like our actual solid wall going. If I remember right, I'm still going to do a little bit more here, as far as kind of adding a few extra decorations to this, like wood, which right now I'm trying to figure out what it is on the time lapse, but I end up using the oh gosh, it's from the fairy tale theme as well. They're like the wood. Oh, and then there was also these that I added in because they were just like, yeah, those look pretty good in this area too. And it's just like, yes, add extra detail. And that the wall that I'm using at the current time, that wall's actually going to change to the brick that's on the other part already. So it's just not done yet, obviously. And then it's time to go in and move things to where they're supposed to be. And then I end up taking this stuff and moving it to the other side of the wall here as well, and also end up putting it into the correct building, because right now, if I remember right, it's in the same building as all the rock work over there. So yeah, and I end up getting that problem fixed, so that way I don't have to keep being like, why are these rocks doing rock things and that stuff. So yeah, and then here's where I'm just like, yeah, let's do a custom fence, because I found the spooky pillar thing, and I'm just like, you know, that would make a good thing, and I don't like any of the fences here, so yeah, let's just go with it. And then yeah, that along with the rail track ties, it's just like, yes, this is the perfect thing to do here. And funnily enough, the pillar that you can use to make the grid reference, you can literally just hide it. And now I end up taking the rail and I was gonna put some cables down below it, but again, those are too long, so I'm just like, okay, so it has to be ropes, so okay, let's do this sort of thing. And then we have the ropes, and we'll put like a rope there in the middle, make it all rope-like. And then we can basically just take this, and I pretty much just one at a time. And this is where I realized, oh, right, I should probably do this the other way around. And then I basically just get to connect these together and all the way around to the other side over there where the new part is. So this kind of is setting a little bit of the new theme. It still fits in with the old one pretty well too, so that was kind of the motive behind doing this, is to kind of just get this as fitting as much as possible, so that way we can take care of that part and just make everything feel like it fits in. I also end up adding some foliage here really quickly into the front here, and yeah, a few cactuses as well, because, you know, that's kind of one of the things for this park. It's still in the desert, regardless of what else goes on, so having some desert foliage is always nice to have. And yeah, I even put a little bit of a tree there just to kind of give a little bit of extra definition to this area. So now we're going back around, putting all the trees in and doing extra little details in this area here. So yeah, that quick save, and I'm doing some. There we go. Okay, back to adding these to the other side. This is where I'm just like, yeah, you know, this is actually like a cool railing, and I want to do more of it. So yeah, we're gonna rail things here, and it ends up looking really good. And for some reason on that side, it ends up matching up perfectly too. And I'm just like, oh, that's kind of neat. Now, next thing we're doing is putting in a little bit of a sign, which I'm actually putting on the side of a rock, which is kind of a cool little extra feature. I do a few of those around here, and I think I'm going to be doing those a little bit more in the landscape in general, just because it looks really neat and like really well integrated into the landscape area. Just kind of like, okay, hey, these rocks were already here, and we just kind of made them look like they fit in a little bit better. So that was the idea behind doing that, and here I am gonna try to put the sign. I think I just put Ferris wheel on it. I mean, it's really simple. And then I try to move it around like 5 billion times on the rock as well, just because I'm like, yeah, I want this to look like it's literally lined up as well as possible. Yep, so, yeah, basically it's just like, yeah, about that, we want to make this look like it is part of this area, so, yeah, and there we go. Little Ferris wheel sign there in the plaza area. And then, if I remember right, I'm gonna end up taking some of this stuff out and redoing stuff over here. So why am I just flying around so much? Sometimes I don't understand myself, and it's kind of concerning, especially when I do things like that. It's just like, okay, I kind of understand why I'm doing it. It's just because I want to have more of a perspective of what I'm doing, but, you know, it's just like, okay, this is, you know, not the most exciting thing to watch, but here it is in the time-lapse now. Yeah, so just kind of getting a little bit of the treatment of the rocks around here, just so we can kind of fill everything in and make it look like it belongs. Got the cool little rock work there, and next I think I go over here to the or maybe I just move the cursor around. I don't know what I'm doing. I really don't know what I'm doing here. Okay, here we go. Now we're finally doing something. Let's remove this and make something look awesomer, because, you know, we've got these custom fences now that are are sort of railing into this area, and it's just like, yeah, we probably should, you know, use them and make even more cool, awesome decoration for this area. So that's what's going on here, and then we get kind of a cool little effect to the customness of the railing here, and also it just ends up working out. So, and I get to do it on this side, and then we go around back and do it on the other side. Now, the area actually around the Ferris wheel itself, I do keep as it is, just because I'm like, well, we could do it custom as well, but this fits the platform fine, and it integrates in well to the area, so meh. I'm just leaving it as is, because it looks fine like that, so yeah. I still end up putting, like, this railing right next to that railing, so it's like, okay, is that really necessary? Probably not, but you know what? Looks good. So that's the thing that is important to me, is that we make this stuff look like it is meant to be that way. So again, getting more bushes into this area over here so we can kind of try to make this all look like it is a cohesive area around the Ferris wheel here. And just by adding in little bits of foliage here and there, we kind of bring this all fitting in together. And yeah, it's like a few of these things just work out kind of well. So I'm actually really happy with how all of this turned out in this area. So, and then we get some more rocks, and I just am like, yeah, let's add this to the building, because there's no reason not to add it to the building. And I kind of just did lots of rock work in this area again, just to kind of make things look like it was cohesive and work well together. So a little bit more of that happens, and then I think that is gonna be almost the end of this clip into the next one. Yeah, a little bit more foliage. That is what, like, so much of this park is just like, it's like, okay, time to place some foliage, and then time to place some rocks, then time to place some more trees and more rocks and more trees. And by the way, this is gonna be more of that again. So yeah, if you haven't had enough of that yet, here's some more. And this one, somehow it started glitching out at one point, and just like, you can't place a rock here, because yeah, and I end up like having to reload the game. It's like, okay, that works, I guess. So there, it was like a seamless transition pretty much. So I'm just like, yep, we're just, you know, turning this into one clip. So yep, and it's like right about now, right, that one right there, you can tell it just like, it kind of freezes in spot when I try to put a rock up there, and I'm just like, why are you freezing? And you won't, and it will not, even though I'm clicking like crazy, it does not let me put anything there. And then I think I have another one like slightly after. I minimize the game, go to my desktop, make sure like sticky keys didn't get turned on or something, which it didn't. So that's, you know, a thing. Because, you know, sticky keys is probably one of the more annoying things in Windows. So yeah, just more rocks and foliage. So I think we'll do a little bit of just, you know, quiet, or, well, music time, and I'll see you back in a little bit here. Alright, and for the last little bit here, this is kind of like our transition area, so kind of the new area is going to be kind of like a sort of, without giving too much away, I'm going to be integrating a few different themes together. I don't want to say exactly what I'm doing right away, because then it's kind of like, oh, let's, make people excited for the next episode. So, haha, I know what I'm doing and you don't. But anyways, here, as you can tell, we're kind of just trying to line the paths here kind of with some borders. Yeah, just some low, like, wooden planks. These are actually the fairy tale pillars again, because apparently that's like my favorite item in the game still, because I use it all the time, and it's just like, yeah, I know I use it so much, but it's just like, it's always helpful. Like, every single situation I need it, it's like the helpful item that is gonna do everything I need it to, so we can get all of what we need into this park, which sounds crazy, but it works. And yeah, so I end up lining all three of these. I do a little bit of some offsets with the wooden beams here, just because I don't want everything to be consistently overlapping each other. It's more like, okay, so we've got these like notches into the wooden planks, and I just want to make it look like these notches are, meant to be there. So it's just like, okay, so we'll just line this up as well as possible, make this do what I want it to, and yeah, so it turned out looking really nice. And then, yes, here we go. As you can tell, I'm kind of looking at trees that I've not normally been using, because this area is going to be a little bit of a different theme from the other ones. So I end up using these, and I don't remember what they're called, but they still kind of fit to the desert theme, but at the same time I can just, fit in some like different looking foliage and stuff here and make it look really well done. So that was the idea here, is to get these flowers in. Yes, and lots of flowers. This is kind of it's more of I don't know what you'd call it, a more manicured area, I guess is what it's called. Yeah, so that ends up looking pretty good and making everything kind of flow together. We use these pink flowers in all three planners, just so that way they can all just kind of have some of the same style, and you know that what area of the park you're in. So that was kind of an important aspect to this, so just adding that little bit of detail, and then still coming back in and adding the rocks at the end here is also one of the things that was definitely needed. So I end up doing a little bit more of the, I'm gonna, put these rocks into the sides of things and then poke them up out of the ground, because that's still just like the coolest thing to do, apparently. And yeah, so definitely enjoy how this area came out, just because it's, like a transition area, so it just makes sense to add some details that are from this area that we've been working on and transitioning it into the new area. So anyways, that is going to do it for this episode. I would like to thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.